Alrighty guys, Silver is ready to hit the road again. And for those of you that are new around here, my name's Pete. This is my channel, 1822 MC Adventures and More, and I just got done servicing Silver, which is my 2007 Harley Davidson Heritage Special with a Stage 1 upgrade. And what I had to do besides the basic oil change was I swapped out my front seals. Real quick how I did that. First and foremost, you're fooling around with anything that you have to take your brakes apart. I had to take the caliper off the lower leg that's on the other side. Don't forget to put a shim in the caliper between your pads in case some knothead grabs that or you bump it, whatever, and pushes them in. You'll play hell getting them back out. So shim your caliper, very important. I use genuine James gaskets. They've been in business a long time. They fit Harleys great. And as far as the oil change goes, now when Harley Davidson came out with the first Evolution motor, not these twin cams, the very first one back in the early 80s, they had designed it so you could put 20W50 in the motor and in the transmission and also in the clutch. Well, we don't do things like that. I understand why they did that, and they spent a lot of time in research and development, but basically the bottom line is it comes down, then a dealer don't have to stock 47 different fucking kinds of oil. But before I digress too far, what I use in the motor is Lucas motorcycle oil. Very important. Don't use car oil, use motorcycle oil. 2050 full synthetic. And I use 30 weight, which I couldn't find the bottle, I must have tossed it in the trash. I use the same type of oil, but 30 weight, and I put that into my primary, which is where my clutch and my stator and the electrical charging system is, and there's a primary chain in there. And the main reason for oil in your primary case is to act as a cooling agent. It's not a lubricant in your primary case, it's basically a coolant. So why would you want to put heavy 50 weight oil in there? It'll, you know what I mean? Put 30 weight in there, it's lighter and your clutch will work better. And then in the transmission, there's no fucking way I'm putting motor oil in my transmission. I put gear oil in my gearbox because it's a gearbox. And I go with Lucas 75-90 weight, fully synthetic. I think it's worth the money. As far as what I put into my gas tank, I always use premium. Sometimes I use ethanol free if I can find it. But I use this stuff here called Flex Fuel, made by Lucas. There's several varieties from different manufacturers of this type of thing. But it's a conditioner. It keeps your fuel straight. You will not have fuel problems with your motorcycle. You may have other problems, but you won't have that. I use 30 weight fork oil in here because I want a nice firm ride. And then as I'm greasing things, I'm going to use Ultra Lucas grease. So that's a quick spin on what I did there. What do you say I share a few things with you here? Alright, I got a new Gremlin bell on there. One of these days I'll tell you the legend of the Gremlin bell. Pretty interesting story. This is a detachable windshield. All I got to do is grab it and pop it. It's sitting here on springs. Very nice thing. This is a cup holder. I kind of giggled at it when I bought the bike. It was on the bike when I bought it, but you know what? I really like it these days. Now whether you've got a modern day motorcycle, an outboard, a lawnmower, even an antique motorcycle, anything, if you don't drive it every day, you need a battery tender. And what this is, it's a simple pigtail. You put it on your battery, and when you're not using it, you just tuck it up under somewhere indiscreet, right? And this one here is an 800 milliamp battery tender. You leave it on all the time. If it's flashing red, it means either your battery's screwed or it's not plugged in. And you can, now you won't find one this nice at Harbor Freight, but they do have cheap ones, and you have anything that sits more than a couple of days at a time, highly recommend using a battery tender. A one-time investment of a battery tender will add years and years to your batteries. And I don't know about you, but I think batteries are expensive. A battery for this, about 200 bucks. And that's getting a deal. Now, next thing. Some of you people might really appreciate this to ride motorcycles. How many people have saggy bags? Well, I used to have saggy bags. And I fixed my saggy bags for $2. Yeah, $2 damn. Now, they make some very nice kits to where you can get longer straps, and there's like a metal frame that goes in there, and it keeps everything all nice, but it limits your storage capacity because they won't stretch or give because of the metal frame. So, how did I solve that problem? I went to the dollar store and I bought 2 pool donuts, $1 a piece. You blow them up, they keep your saddlebag nice and plump. You do some shopping or you're going on a trip, you let the air out, and you fill up your saddlebag. For $2, I solved my saggy bag problem. Alrighty guys, I know it's really windy, you probably won't be able to hear me, but when I was in the shop showing you some of my hacks, I forgot to show you this. This thing here is made by Willie and Max. It slides up under your seat and it's adjustable, but it's called a hooker. I guess so you can hook whatever you need to it and be done with it. But yeah, that there was probably, I don't remember how much that was. It was under $20 and it was money very well spent. Alrighty, so what do you say we drop this down to a safe level and we'll fire it up. Alrighty guys, now that the bike's back down on the ground, I want to show you the best, bar none, hands down, the best $60 I've ever spent on any motorcycle in my whole life. And this is a non-paid advertisement, non-sponsored. I'm just telling you this because these people are the real deal. Alright, this is wildthingsfur.com. They're up in Wisconsin. The number is area code 608-625-4181. They have a beautiful website. Everything there is fur. They sell fur bikinis, they sell fur blankets, fur mittens, fur hats, all kinds of things. But best of all, they sell sheepskin covers for your motorcycle. They make them single like this for 60 bucks. And you can have it in the long hair or the trimmed up short hair. They also make a double one, and they also make a pad for the back. But I mean, you see how big this is, right? And these things are amazing. If it's wet, it still retains its heat. You can go out like today, sun's out, it's 80 some degrees. Your motorcycle seat gets hot as shit, right? Well, you put that thing there on there, and it takes 20 degrees off of it. So let me put this on real quick. It's really simple. You just take this like this, get it up under there. You don't have to do this, but I do it. I tuck it up under here. And the only maintenance on this is if it gets soaking wet, you gotta shake it up real good to get all the water out of it. You know, once in a while, take a hairbrush and literally brush the fur. For 60 bucks, you have just no idea how well worth this is. This is some of the best motorcycle money I've ever spent. Now, let me tie this off and we'll fire this piece up. Nothing fancy there. I just wrapped the strings around the crash bar a couple of times and tie a simple square knot, and everything's good in the hood. Alrighty, Silver, you ready to go for a ride? Alright, we're powered up. Watch this. What the hell? Oh, yeah, I still got it in gear. Come on, baby, let's go. So, as you can tell, the gas is a little sour. It's been sitting in there for a month and a half now. Even though I do use fuel additives, it's still, this damn alcohol fuel, without going into a rant, fucking Mr. Potato Head wants to do 15% ethanol into your fuel tank. I don't give a shit what vehicle you drive. It's gonna ruin your motor. Do a little research, people. That's fucking poison. We got an upcoming food crisis, food shortage on the way, right down the fucking road. And this fucking dipshit wants to take corn and put it in our gas tanks. It's never been a good idea. And if you're a true environmentalist and you've done your fucking research on ethanol, you'll know it makes less power for the motor and it pollutes twice as fucking much. It's dirty fucking shit. And because now we got corporate welfare farmers living off the subsidies from the fucking government, giving them these fucking alcohol fucking checks or whatever, subsidies, that's the right word. I'm getting wound up. I gotta cut this off. Look guys, I'm gonna go put some riding clothes on and we're gonna go for a ride. Fuck Joe Biden. Let's go, Brandon. The whole fucking 9 yards. And everyone that backs him. You're all a bunch of commie cocksuckers. Yeah, Green New Deal, what a fucking scam. Just follow the money on that fucking shit.